Persuasion is all around us. It's in the movies we watch, the literature we consume, and the ads of the products that we use every day in our lives. Now, one example from a book or movie, depending on which version you've seen, is from Pride and Prejudice. Specifically, Darcy's first proposal. Now, I will be referencing both the original novel and the 2005 film interchangeably here, just so you know. So throughout this odd proposal, we do see why the novel is called Pride and Prejudice. And that is because as individuals, both Darcy and Elizabeth are very proud people. Darcy, because he's rich and very high in society, and Elizabeth, or Lizzie, because of her nature and her love for her family. Now in this proposal, Darcy of course professes his love for Elizabeth, but also says something along the lines of, "I love you, but that's against my better judgment, and oh, by the way, your family is an embarrassment to society." Now he tries to say it as kind of, this may be the case, but I love you anyway, but this comes off offensive, and that brings us to ego involvement, which is a person's commitment to an issue related to one's own self-concept and self-esteem.
No, there was, however, I have to admit, the matter with your family.
Our want of connection! Mr. Bingley didn't seem to vex himself about that. How, sir?
It was the lack of propriety shown by your mother, your 3 younger sisters, even on occasion your father. Forgive me.
Now, Darcy knows very well that he's much higher in status than anyone in Elizabeth's family, but Lizzie is too proud of herself and her family to allow Darcy to insult her family, even if his insults are a little bit true. Now, a person is ego involved when his or her attitude toward an issue is linked to her identity or concept. Now, this is the case with Lizzie and her family. You know, she's very close with them, and while they might not be the perfect example of a family in this Regency society, she still does care for them and wants to defend them and will not accept this proposal because she has been offended by what Darcy has said. And additionally, this ties into social judgment theory, in which the effect of a persuasive message on an issue depends on the way that the receiver evaluates the position that the messenger puts forth. And a person who's ego involved will distort the message into a way that they agree with. So Lizzie, in this case, while Darcy wasn't necessarily trying to offend her, because of the jab to her family name, she took that as an offense against him. And this is a great example of how persuasion can sometimes fail in an attempt. You know, Darcy fails at his proposal because he ends up offending Lizzie, not necessarily on purpose, but she takes it that way just based on how he words things and how she interprets that because of her own ego involvement. So I must have really been into Keira Knightley when I was writing this presentation, because my next example is from one of the Pirates of the Caribbean movies. Now in this scene from Pirates of the Caribbean at World's End, the outcome of the battle ahead feels bleak and the pirates are defeated, they're tired, they don't really want to move on, so Elizabeth Swann, kind of the same name, decides to relight that flame inside the sailors and inspire them to keep on fighting. You can really see that it's her delivery that makes the speech so impactful. You know, right off the bat, you see her volume, levels of soft and loud, which is mostly loud in this speech. Now that's because of the location and the nature. She's on a ship, which is going to be loud because you hear the ocean, and it's just a setting where you need to shout so everyone can hear you. And we also have posture and movement in her presentation. Now, she's physically in the scene above the rest of them. She climbs up onto the side of the ship and holds onto a rope, so she's above everybody, and that commands attention and respect from the rest of the crew. So everyone can see her and you hear her fine, and they see that she is above them and in position of command in this case. So of course they're going to listen to them because she is their superior. Now, another great element of persuasion is used in this scene, and that is through pathos. And through this, the speaker attempts to move the audience to action, to inspire, to motivate, or create an emotional climate. Now, Elizabeth Swann definitely succeeds in doing this because she uses language that really appealed to that sailor sense of pride and glory. They don't want to lose this battle, they just need a little bit of something to keep them going. Now, I put the quote that I think is one of the more powerful ones in this speech at the bottom, but instead of reading it, I'll let you hear it for yourself.
And what will they see? Frightened bilge rats aboard a derelict ship? No. No, they will see free men! And freedom! And what the enemy will see is the flash of our cannons. They will hear the ring of our swords, and they will know what we can do! By the sweat of our brows, and the strength of our backs, and the courage of our hearts.
And you can really hear how stirring her speech is. You know, she's really putting a lot of energy, a lot of really strong wording into this. You know, this totally works with the pirates because she knows that they really want to win and that they would love the glory associated with the victory here. They want to be an example for everybody else, so the words she uses really encourage that. And here are my sources and citations. For some reason, it wouldn't let me indent my second lines here, so please do forgive that. But thank you very much for watching and listening.